find out life's this game of inches. So is football. Because in either game, life or football, the margin for error is so small. I mean, one half a step too late or too early, and you don't quite make it. 1/2 second too slow, too fast, you don't quite catch it. The inches we need are everywhere around us.
Welcome into the Gibson Fantasy Football Podcast.
Woo! I'm here.
He's live. He's made it. He's arrived at the East Coast with plenty of excitement and readiness for football.
Bringing my Raiders gear energy here. I saw some guy in the store actually wearing a Raiders hat. I kind of wanted to go and give him a high five.
You would, man. You Raiders fans. Come to darken our days over here.
Have to stick together. Have to.
Yeah. I mean, sadly, we're both 2-5, but I'd rather be your 2-5 than our 2-5 right
Yeah.
now. No, you're 2-4 because you're coming off the bye week.
Yeah, that's true. If you just give me a second, I just need to blow my nose. I'll just use this if that's okay.
Such an optimistic season. Gone down the drain already here after 7 weeks. Jesus. All right. Josh and Aaron here with you. We're jumping in on Wednesday, October 26th. And we are back. It's week 8. We are really next week, I guess, will be at the halfway point.
Yeah. This used to be the halfway point.
Well, no, week 8. Well, yeah, I guess the end of week 8.
Week
right?
of it, yeah.
So Gibson Fantasy Football, Gibson_FF, and Gibson Fantasy Football, all one word. YouTube, Podbean, Spotify, and Instagram.
It all just comes together.
Yeah, just mixing everything together, throwing things.
Remix.
It's been a day, but we're here. We're testing out a new system with the audio situation because there's 2 of us. We might end up with a second mic or something with a second computer, but we're gonna rock it today, sitting side by side with probably get some background noise in here. So we'll see how it turns out, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, I'll apologize for Toby right now. He's making some noise. He's geared up. He's ready to go.
Toby's a dog. Dog's gonna make noise.
All right.
Week 8. All right. Well, before we get to the enjoyment that is week 8, we must first relive week 7. And it had some crazy games, some wild victories, some unfortunate circumstances with teams winning and losing. But there is only one person who was, as they call them, the ultimate loser. And the score was a little better this week, but unfortunately, this person has to be recognized for their efforts or lack thereof, perhaps.
Down with the cheese whiz.
So the Evanator,
Yeah.
suffered a big L, and it was the craziest part is he got loser of the week, but he almost didn't lose.
No. Oh wow. Yeah. That was a lot closer.
That's what I was gonna say. I don't know if you realize just how close it was. Dan was looking like he was gonna mop the floor with him, and Dan actually finished as the 7th highest score on the week out of 8 teams, so he got the most luckiest of wins there.
Yeah. What a huge week for either of them, but
Let's check that out. So we had Evan ringing in there at 97.48 points, and Dan with 100.44. So super close. And when we dig into the matchup, we'll see here what the differences were. But what stands out to you, kind of off the top here?
I have DeAndre Swift. Is it DeAndre Swift? Yeah, DeAndre Swift. Sorry. I have him in another league, and I kept an eye on that going into Sunday morning. So it looked like he was going to start.
Right.
They had him prediction points and all that stuff. So I took him out last minute. So unfortunately, I think there was quite a few people in fantasy this past week that left him in, and
Right.
it is what it is kind of thing. So that hurt.
Yeah, it was a late inactive. It was one of those Sunday morning situations. We've had that the last couple of weeks. We had Kamara a couple of weeks ago with the London game.
Yep.
That was killer for a lot of folks. So yeah, that certainly hurt his cause. And coincidentally, right on the other side is Jamal Williams. So Evan with a savvy pickup there.
Yes.
But yeah, no, I mean, really, it was the Austin Eckler show, and then the rest of Dan's team was more or less a no-show outside of Kelsey and Tua.
Yeah, 100%. Wow, Eckler, 30 points. What a day he had, eh?
12 receptions, man, for a running back.
The team's trying everything right now. They're in tough. I mean, that whole AFC South, or not South, the AFC West, that was supposed to be like the division. Yeek.
It's Kansas City and the Three Amigos at this point.
Unfortunately, we're just tagged along for the ride, and
we're two of the three. Maybe it's the Three Stooges at this point. The way things are shaping up, man. Yeah, I mean, 30 spot from Eckler. Tua was okay. Cooper Godwin didn't kill him. Najee probably better than normal. But yeah, nothing from the kicker really. Fournette with a brutal day. And then on the other side, I mean, Evan had an okay performance, but he just didn't have anybody go off.
Like, that's it, right? Like
Juju did probably the most damage there with his 7 for 124 and 1, but nobody else cleared 12 points.
They needed him big time to step up. So that was a big one for KC. But yeah, it's just 5 points, 8 points here. 5 points for Zach Ertz. Not a great week. Tyler Lockett, 8. Williams, 6. I thought that Detroit offense was going to be a little bit more on fire playing inside the dome, but that Detroit or Dallas defense is
they're good.
They're good, yeah.
And that was actually what changed the matchup. I mean, I'm sure there was other plays throughout the day, but Jamal Williams was at the 1 yard line, or maybe the 2. He's about to punch it in, and he fumbled at the goal line. So it goes from being add 6 points to your score to take away 2 on the fumble. And that 8-point swing was enough to decide the week.
That would have been it?
Yeah.
Wow. That's
one play.
That's crazy. Unbelievable.
That's football.
And the fact, too, that Stephon Diggs, Kupp, and Cook were all on a bye.
And he almost won.
That's huge.
And that's twice that's happened to Evan, because I beat him in week 3, and I had the second lowest score, and he had the lowest score. Guy's been just terribly unlucky with that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, for every unfortunate soul, there is a grand champion.
Yeah.
And, just starting to sound like a broken record, but it's a record that at least one of us enjoys playing.
Look at that guy's sweater in that band. Did you see that?
What in that big video?
I'm going to wear that. That's what I'm going for Halloween. Nobody will know who I am. Was that Brian May?
I don't even remember.
How do you keep coming up with this music too? I'm pretty impressed with the Keep on Rolling, Queen, Don't Stop Me Now.
Hey, what can I say? I'm a connoisseur of music. Love me some good music, and anything classic rock is right in the wheelhouse here. So I had another pretty good matchup this week. We went off against Dawn, who had the 3rd highest score on the week. Last week it was Craig, who had the 2nd highest score of the week.
Mm-hmm.
So it's been competitive, but my team came through 151.72, Dawn 126.86, and
many other weeks I'll take a 126.86 any week.
Yeah,
usually that's going to do it. But
like I said, 3rd highest score, right? And team wasn't bad. She was kind of an Evan day, but a little better, a little more consistency, because I guess she had the boom from Mostert and really the Dallas defense, which. My goodness, man, I almost dropped the Bucks to pick up the Dallas defense, and I was like, how good could Carolina really be without Christian McCaffrey and Robbie Anderson? And here we are, and I'm like, oh my goodness, watching her defense blow up on the other side, thinking to myself, if I lose because I didn't pick up that defense, I'm going to be devastated.
I think there was quite a few people that thought the same thing you were thinking with the Tampa Bay defense, but unfortunately,
no,
the defense couldn't help them in that one.
That was brutal.
That was bad.
Ugly game, but
Walker went off for you, eh?
Yeah, Kenneth Walker, man. So I had a few big performances. His stands out. He had that huge touchdown run. So it was looking like Don had Mostert and Hill going into Sunday night. I had Freiermuth Sunday, and then I had Ramondre Stevenson Monday. And the way things were shaping up, we had almost the same score. And I was like, well, if you're going to give me Hill and Mostert versus Stevenson and Freiermuth, I'm probably toast. Because Hill's probably going to go off and Mostert's probably, and they both had good games. And then Kenneth Walker runs for this huge, I think it was like a 70-yard touchdown.
Yep.
And then Herbert throws his second passing touchdown, and all of a sudden it's like, I think I'm okay.
Yeah.
We should be good. And we're watching the Miami game, and the first drive, it's like passing touchdown, Mostert. Second drive, looks like it's going to be passing touchdown, Mostert, but comes up short at the goal line. And I'm like, oh my goodness. But thankfully, that was about the most of the damage he did. And Tyreek Hill, while he had 7 for 72, was not a killer day.
No.
Right?
No.
So Freiermuth exceeded expectations with an 8 for 75, and then Ramondre closed her out on the Monday. He was the lone bright spot for the Patriots. Jesus.
Yeah, unfortunately, I didn't get to see that Monday night game. I was doing a little bit of a drive, and once I found out though about that, oof,
crazy.
Yeah, sounded like it was some game. So I do.
The Bears, man.
Who knew?
Yeah. So I mean, yeah, for Dawn, like Mostert was actually her standout player aside from the defense. And Njoku was okay. He got hurt, or he would have had an even bigger day.
Yeah. Taylor had. I mean, you want more from Jonathan Taylor for sure.
The catches were great, right? The 7 for 27 receiving, right? That's a bonus. But the 58 rushing yards is not ideal.
No, not at all.
The offense looks broken, which I guess is why they're going to Sam Ehlinger now instead of Matt Ryan, right?
Big news out of Indianapolis. So
I don't know how that's going to pan out for them.
Throws that game-winning touchdown. He's the hero of the town, and now, that's how it is in the NFL, right?
We'll see, man. See what he can do.
Yeah.
Excuse me. She started off the week well with that Hopkins Murray stack, and then I closed that one out. So that's those two, and we got 2 other matchups to go through. So you want to get the agony over with now?
Yeah, this has been the worst year, man. The worst.
And you were the 4th highest score on the week, so you should have technically, if the top 4 played the bottom 4, you would have won.
Yeah.
Right? But unfortunately, you went up against Kreger, who had the 2nd highest score on the week.
St. Brown goes down early in the game. And I thought Evans was going to be out because at the exact same time St. Brown goes down, Evans goes down. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, there goes my 2 wide receivers. I'm done. And fortunately, Evans was able to come back, but
he missed that long catch for a touchdown, man.
Yeah, he did.
He was wide open. Like that probably tacks on another, 60 yards and a touchdown to your day.
That would have been huge.
Which would have been, like another 13 points. Made things a lot more interesting.
And my tight end woes continue. I have no.
You went and grabbed Kyle Pitts.
I grabbed Kyle Pitts, thinking he's got to be able to do something with that offense.
I got so lucky, man, because I looked and I was like, oh, man, Goddard's on a bye. I got to grab somebody. And I was like, oh, there's like a bunch of people out there. And then somebody picked up a tight end. And I was like, oh, whatever. And then Craig grabbed Tunyon. And I was like, oh, man, there goes Tunyon. I was thinking about grabbing him. And then you grabbed Pitts. And I was like, man, everybody's picking up tight ends. I'm going to not have any options. And then I saw Freiermuth was cleared from his concussion. I was like, oh, I guess I'll just grab Freiermuth then. I was like, thank goodness that worked out the way it did. Man, tight ends just.
There's really only 2 or 3 guys a week that
perform. And we'll get there. But I mean, Andrews wasn't one of them this week.
No, it's.
Yeah, Craig had Aaron Jones was a weird game, right? 9 for 53 and 2. He was the whole offense basically. So that, that one hurts. Barkley with another good day. You kind of expect that.
Joe Burrow, though.
Burrow, man, his highest scoring player again.
And when, I think it was even I kind of questioned when he kept him. You questioned him for sure.
I roasted him. And now I'm eating crow.
Yeah, Joe Burrow, man.
Especially with the quarterback landscape right now, to have a quarterback who can do what he's doing when all the other quarterbacks. I mean, luckily you got one on the other side in Mahomes, but
yeah, he had
outside of Burrow, Mahomes, Lamar, even Lamar, not so much the last few weeks, but Hurts, Josh Allen, like that's it, man. The list is like 4.
Yeah, I feel like some of these guys just needed, especially Joe Burrow, just needed to get that bad taste of the Super Bowl out of his mouth the first couple of weeks, and just once that happened.
They were running a lot again the beginning of the year, and then they shifted and they were like, no, you know what? Go throw it a bunch of times. And he's just torching people.
And they still have the run game too.
Yeah.
I mean, Mixon got me 16 points, so that's not too bad at all.
Well, that's it. Now they're opening up the run game because they're throwing so much. We didn't even mention when we were talking about Jamar Chase's, another 2 touchdown, 100+ yard day.
Yeah. So. Unfortunately, Higgins isn't getting too much of it right now. I don't know. I think he's still recovering from an injury. I don't think he's fully healthy. So
I think he got lucky because it was a Tyler Boyd week. Unlucky because it was a Tyler Boyd week. Boyd will have like a handful of spike games a year, and this happened to be one of them. And that means that either Chase or Higgins is going to sacrifice, and it happened to be Higgins this time around.
My pickup from last week, a week ago, the Arizona defense on this show. I pick up the Arizona defense.
That was crazy. 2 pick sixes in the same game.
I missed it, and I turned it on right after it, and I was like, "Oh, I got to check fantasy." They were up to like 22 points at one point. I mean,
they were your second highest scoring player.
Yeah, that's usually when those things happen. That's not a win.
But yeah, so I mean, Kamara, Mike Williams, Aaron Jones, Barkley, you had a good girl. You had a good, like you said, you had a good score, man. 123. Yeah. If St. Brown doesn't go down on the first play, and it's probably a different story, a lot closer here.
Yeah, maybe if Pitts could just get me, I don't know, just a couple more points. I left Aaron Gibson. I left Aaron Gibson on the bench. Yeah. Sure did. Yeah. I left Antonio Gibson on the bench, but I find with him, it's
dicey, man.
It's not even hit and miss. It's
mostly the touchdown.
Miss. Yeah. So.
But all right, last but not least, Jay and OMG, and this one. Jay was like a heavy underdog partway through the day there.
Mm-hmm.
But he had Jacobs still to play. And, OMG had Adams and Garrett Carr, and you're thinking, okay. But, Josh Jacobs, man, he's now the RB1 in fantasy. He's overtaken Nick Chubb. Wow. Another massive week, 143 and 3 touchdowns on the ground.
The break point for the Raiders right now, and I love it, but I don't like it when I'm playing Jay.
We knew that Houston D was going to be just terrible, but what an absolute massacre.
Yeah, I put Houston right there with Carolina. It's probably the 2 worst teams in the NFL right now. So, I mean, but it's one of those things, but yeah.
And on a week where the Lamar Andrews stack generated 11 points, like 10 from Jackson. Andrews was a no-show. If he can to scrape out a win on that week, that's impressive.
That is impressive. Those are the weeks where you really
yes. And he got goosed by Dobbs too, right?
Yeah, he did.
Like 0 that points. Jacobs with the 35, and McLaurin came back to life. Kirk, came back to life. Henry, another good day. CH was passable. Decent from his special teams, right? 20 points between his kicker and defense.
Yeah, Tucker's always a reliable kicker in this league.
Your dad, man, injuries, right? Lost Breece Hall. Lazard left with injury. The Breece Hall thing, we'll talk about that in the injury section. That's terrible, man.
Yeah.
Then his defense. We sort of questioned the Jacksonville versus Giants. We had said, previously we're like, yeah, we would have thought Jacksonville's a good D, but now with the Giants, and we're not sure. And
I would have picked up a different D.
It didn't pan out for him, right? Yeah. And his team's in shambles. He's gonna have to make some pickups to see what he can do here.
Yeah, Carr went down for a little bit. Hopefully he's back now. He came right back. I think he only missed 1 play. But you never know. But I mean, you can rely on that run game right now. They're doing so well. So
that was the problem. They just stopped passing the ball.
Yeah.
Even Adams, you can see, and he's got that stack when he plays Carr. I mean, normally he's going to play Josh Allen, but Adams, right? 8 for 95, and they basically stopped passing in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else to comment on from last week's shenanigans?
No, get it out of here.
You were saying that last week, man.
I've been saying for the past like 3-4 weeks, just get it out of here.
Get it out of here.
It's been bad.
All right. Injury, suspension, no more suspensions as of right now, at least not for offense. Frank Clark, defensive end for the Chiefs, got suspended for 2 games, but that doesn't help us so much. So yeah, Breece Hall, man, done for the year with the ACL tear. Super sad.
Oh man,
we lose Javonte, we lose Breece Hall, like 2 of the best young running backs in the game.
I think I've joked around about the Jets and how bad they've been and how bad I thought they were going to be. I'm happy that they're doing really well. It's a fun team to watch. I know. It just sucks seeing somebody like that, a rookie. Oh man, and I drafted him to OMG's team too.
Oh,
I thought that was a great draft.
It was, man. He was the league winner.
I mean, he was looking like a keeper, 100%. And I think any league, he's looking like a keeper if you have him. So tough one, tough. So hopefully it's not too bad and he can get back. I don't think you will see him this season.
No.
I know there's people that will say, well, if they make the playoffs, but you don't want to rush that. You want to make sure that he's back 100%. So
no, he won't be back.
Yeah, it sucks.
A couple of other folks that look like they're going to miss multiple weeks. So J.K. Dobbins got put on the injured reserve. He's going to miss at least 3 more games ahead of the game, which led to Gus Edwards, who I'm sure is a valuable pickup that everybody out there is after.
Mm-hmm.
And then Njoku looks like he's going to miss some time, and Mike Williams is going to miss at least a few games as well. So a couple of big ones there. Don grabbed Njoku to try to mitigate the Waller situation. We don't know what's going on with him as of yet, but and then Krager has Mike Williams, although he's headed into a bye now, so we'll see what happens there. But he's not expected to be back. Waiting on some players to see: Landry, Michael Thomas, James Conner, Darrell Williams with him as well. Waller, we touched on. Russ is saying he's going to play this week. He couldn't play last week. Brett Rippon took over.
He's got no jet lag.
Oh, yeah.
No jet lag.
He got jet lagged, all right, from the Jets.
Bazink.
Swift was, like we talked about, right? We're not sure if he's coming back.
Yeah.
DK left. Looks like he's saying he's going to try to play, but I don't know, man. It looked pretty bad. Zeke is now apparently might miss, so Pollard, if he's out there, which I think you grabbed, right?
I put him on my bench this week. So they predicted some high points from him, but
yeah,
I just
he might be the starting running back in Dallas against the nice, juicy matchup there.
I might have to put him in.
Yeah.
I got to take risks. I have to now.
Against the Bars.
Yeah.
And then Lazard, we talked about, left. We're not sure if he's going to make it. And then Andrews is actually questionable to play tomorrow. So that's intriguing. If Andrews is out, Lamar's going to be bad again. So
I'm surprised Higgins and Waddle aren't on this list. They're usually always on this list.
Yeah. They both practice, so they both seem okay at the moment.
Yeah, they're going to go. But
I
think there's a lot of players playing through some injuries right now.
Yeah. So anyway, lots of players to monitor, lots to keep an eye on. It's kind of hard this week. There's a lot of uncertainty at this point in the week. It's gonna be a lot of Friday players that we're keeping an eye on.
It's tough when you're in multiple pools, fantasy pools, because you pay attention to one, you think you've got all your lineup set, and then it's like, oh shoot, you got to go back and change the next lineup, and then you forget. There's always if you're in multiple leagues, there's always one guy that you can almost forget.
Yeah.
It's the worst feeling.
Gotta be constantly checking all the lineups as we hit this time of the year.
Yeah, I think it happened with me in another league with James Conner, and he didn't play, and it was like a Thursday night game, I think it was, and I was trying to I was looking at the lineup and I'm like, oh, I gotta take him out, and I was like, it's not letting me take him out. Why is this not happening? I realized he's playing. Well, the team's playing, so I can't take him out. So
game's already started.
I had to eat that 0. That's the worst.
Well, speaking of folks trying to survive, let's run it over. So I did not make my pick because of the Bears defeating the Patriots.
Oh,
Can't believe it, but
yeah.
this is the world we live in. You took the Ravens over the Browns, and it was close, but you were fortunate to come out on top. So who's your survivor pick this week? Who are you locking in?
I'm gonna go with. I already have it. I just kind of blanking right now, but I know it's the Giants
Over the Seahawks.
over the Seahawks.
All right.
That's my lock-in pick.
Nice. Funny because I was debating putting that. I had that one flagged as a potential for the upset of the week.
What, Seahawks over the Giants?
That's right. No, the Giants aren't the Giants favorites or the Seahawks?
Seahawks are favored. Oh,
That's
wow.
what I'm saying, man.
What?
So
How do you get maybe 6-1?
we'll go there in a second, but
Yeah.
I'm going with the Cowboys against the Bears. I just gotta get back on the board here. Right now, you've got a streak of 1 with a total of 4 right. I'm back to a streak of 0 with a total of 2 right. So I gotta make something happen here. Yes, that's the crazy part, right? It was like we do this. How many weeks have we done this now? 3 or 4 where we both are like, why are the Giants the underdogs?
Yes.
The Giants are gonna win. Or at least should be favorite. I mean, I know they're on the road, but it's Seattle, man.
Yeah.
And DK Metcalf probably isn't going to play. Like,
That's
how are we? What's going on with Vegas, man? I do feel like they're just throwing money away, but they know a hell of a lot more than I do. So
I didn't know the coach was born here in Canada. Brian.
Brian Daboll.
Yeah.
I didn't know that either.
Yeah. Born here in Canada, but raised in the States. So.
Yeah, good enough.
That's cool. Hey, and the Phillies, just a little side note, but the Phillies baseball manager from Canada. Good old Canadians know how to coach.
Hey, man. Chase Claypool, Chuba Hubbard. There's a few of them out there.
We're coming.
All right. So who are you going to go with as your upset of the week then?
Oh.
Which, I mean, neither of us will take the Giants now that we've already got that sorted out there. But who are you looking at thinking?
I'm going with the Cardinals over Minnesota.
That's a good one. I was eyeing that one up
Yeah.
as well. I like that.
3.5. Minnesota favored by 3.5.
Vikings only have 1 loss on the year, and it's to Philly. So it's going to be interesting to see. Are they legit? Right? We both kind of thought they are, but we weren't like, they're not a top tier team.
Yeah.
Cardinals look much better with DeAndre Hopkins back on Thursday.
My biggest worry is the arguments Kyler Murray's having with what's his name, the head coach?
Cliff Kingsbury.
Yeah, Cliff Kingsbury. I always get him and Shanahan mixed up. But yeah, you listen to some of the. At first, I thought nothing of it, and then I listened to some of the experts and those guys kind of talking, and it seems like that kind of stuff it's not good. So,
right.
It'll be interesting. So
I don't know, man. They're not having a good season. They're lucky that they won that game because their defense had 2 pick sixes. But
absolutely, yeah, that was them playing on the Thursday night game, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yep.
With the Saints.
Yeah, that was interesting when that happened, but we'll see.
All right, kids. You know what? Oh man.
A
couple that I'm intrigued by. I'm thinking maybe Commanders over the Colts against the rookie Sam Ehlinger, and I was debating on the Jets over the Patriots as well.
Yeah, it's interesting too because I was also looking at the Broncos and Jaguars, and they're both 2-5, but you feel like the Broncos are. I don't know, man. Just a lot of more of an underdog, I guess. It's
bad.
Oh, Jacksonville's going back home.
Yeah, to London, right? All right, give me the Commanders over the Colts. Let's see if they can. I don't trust the rookie. Jonathan Taylor hasn't been able to do well in that line. Commanders, they're running the Heineke show, which is not really a good show. I'd be willing to play, the Colts defense even, but I think I'll take the Commanders there.
Definitely not the game of the week, but an interesting game. Because you got 2 young quarterbacks, Sam Ehlinger, who's inexperienced, and you got
Taylor Heineke,
who's
not as young.
No,
he
had that
younger, I guess, but yeah, he had that run, that magical run where he almost beat, beat the Bucs in the playoffs there 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm. But man, one of those teams wins. Colts win, they're above 500.
Yeah.
And if the Washington wins, they're at 500. So big game for both of those teams. So you're saying there's a chance.
Couple of mediocre teams that are involved.
Yeah. There's a lot of that kind of going on this week.
There is.
With those kind of records where it's just really close. Maybe not the Titans in Houston, but some of those other games.
Yeah, you talked about the Broncos and Jags. Even the Dolphins and Lions are another interesting one there. Raiders and Saints. But well, perfection returns. The Eagles are back off the bye week.
Yes, they are.
And they get to take on the Steelers. So I think we probably just pencil in the two of us for a W on the Eagles there.
Yeah, what a favorable record so far, or favorable matchup. Yeah, that's what I'm looking for.
Right out of the bye, fully healthy, well rested, and they get rookie Kenny Pickett to come up against that explosive Eagles defense. And if the Eagles defense wasn't already good, they went and traded a 5th-round pick for Robert Quinn and acquired him from the Bears. So now they got even more of a pass rush. It's going to be an ugly day for Kenny Pickett, man.
At home, 1 o'clock Eastern time start. It's just everything's favoring Philly. But when those kind of things line up, that's when those upsets happen. So
anything's possible.
Yeah, anything's possible for sure. I mean, but
I'm not about to pick against Philly.
No.
It's got to be a pretty good matchup to pick against Philly.
They're ready to go.
They sure are, man. All right. We'll see who's ready to go in our league this week. So lineups are kind of in shambles because everybody's got players in and out, and nobody's finished setting their lineups. We're not all as ready to go as we usually are, but let's take a peek ski here. Let's go. This is an intriguing one here. We'll start here. We'll start with Don versus Kreger. So we got to kind of look. Looks like Kreger's mostly got his lineup set. He's got Burrow in there for sure. Barkley, Jones, Kittle, Kamara, Benjamin he picked up. And, looks like he's ready to play, which we'll see if Connor's out or not. Tyler Boyd, he's chasing that Boyd spike week that we talked about.
Not gonna happen because it's going back to Higgins.
Oh, there it is. Dawn on the other side needs to replace her tight end with maybe Waller if he plays, maybe someone else. It's got Debo, who's questionable but probably gonna play. Then Taylor, Hunt, Hopkins, Tyreek Hill, Murray, Moses. So I guess mostly, our lineup's mostly set.
Yeah, just gotta find that replacement tight end.
Yeah.
She's having the tight end woes like I'm having right now.
Tight ends are tough, man. It looks like it's a pretty even matchup in terms of point spread. I mean, not that I trust the projections necessarily, but
no. You
throw in 6 or 7 points for the tight end for Dawn, and you're pretty much even.
Yeah, and she'll be. Yeah, Dallas defense against the Bears. I like that.
Oh yeah. So I like that a lot.
At home too for Dallas. So
yeah, the Bears are. I know they beat the Patriots, but the Dallas defense they're legit, man. All right. So what are you thinking here? Are you thinking that Kreger keeps on rolling? He's he's rock-a-locking here at 4-3. Dawn's got 2 wins on the season, but she's been pretty competitive in terms of points. Where are you going this week?
Well, since I'm staying at your place, I'm going to be making the smart pick on this one, and I'm totally going with Dawn.
All right. So sister versus brother. And all right, you know what? I'll go Kreger, then we'll keep it interesting. And I didn't say it off the top, but we went different on 3 out of 4 matchups last week, and I came out on top on all 3. And I was different. So now I'm 13-24, and you're 9-24.
I know I need a big week, so
coming in hot.
I'm gonna pretty much take everybody that you're not taking.
All right. Now this is another intriguing one. So we got Jay, who's we just talked about. Josh Jacobs is on fire. Derrick Henry gets to play Houston, who Josh Jacobs just torched for three touchdowns. Now he's got that Lamar Andrews stack, and normally you would say, "Oh, they're up against Tampa Bay. That's not good." But I mean, Carolina just destroyed Tampa Bay, so it's hard to know, is Tampa Bay still a good defense? I'm not really sure anymore.
Yeah, Thursday night game too.
Yeah,
short week for Tom Brady. Obviously, they're going. Tampa Bay is going to be going to Germany, I believe, next week. So,
all right.
Yeah, I like Baltimore. Yeah, you can't turn that ship around for Tampa Bay, right? In 4 days that they've had off.
Not looking good there. And then now he takes on the Dan man, who's he's been rocking as well. Obviously, he's sitting at the top of the league at 6-1. He gets Hurts back off the bye, Godwin, Sutton, Najee. He's got Etienne in there, which is a wise move after James Robinson got traded.
Mm-hmm.
Leonard Fournette, DeAndre Swift, assuming he plays. No Kelsey this week. That's going to hurt. And he's still got to figure out a defense. So he's got some moves to make to try to get his lineup all set there. But what do you think? You think Jay can pull off the upset here and knock down the top of the pyramid, or you think Dan keeps rolling?
I'm going to go with Jay because I got a feeling you're going to go with Dan. Even with tight end out.
It's close, man. It's that Lamar Andrews stack is the wild card there, because the rest of his roster is pretty solid, but it's a bit dicey. So I'll take Dan and keep it interesting that way. But I'm cheering for Jay so that I can try to gain some ground on Dan.
That's it. Yeah, that's the biggest thing.
All right, let's go. I guess we'll go me next because yours is probably more intriguing. So I got to take on the Godfather himself, Mr. OMG. I'm still without a kicker, so I got to sort that out, and I'm shuffling between which running backs I'm going to put in, but we'll get there. So OMG is going to get Josh Allen back in the lineup, so that'll make a big difference. And he's got to make some moves here because he's short on running backs. Looks like he's thinking about playing that Jacksonville D one more time against Denver. We'll see. It might work out okay. But yeah, he's got Singletary and Allen in the same game that he can throw in. He could put Hawkinson in over Taysom Hill if he wants.
Take a risk with Harris, maybe.
Yeah, I could. Damian Harris, plop him back in. I'm going to have Stevenson in on the other side.
It's not the worst case scenario for running back, but
yeah,
it would have been better if Breece Hall was still in there.
For sure.
You've got to get rid of Tyson Hill.
Yeah, I mean, he got that touchdown last week, so he was still okay. 9 points, not going to shout about it, but...
You know what? I shouldn't talk because my tight ends have only been getting me like average 2 points, so...
Hawkinson got 6. I mean, it was the right play last week. But...
Yeah.
We know I'm taking me. Who are you taking here?
I'll go with OMG.
All right. I like it.
I'm trying to make that ground up.
Maybe this is it. All right, last but not least, taking on the Evenator.
Cooper Kupp back.
Yeah, I know, right? You're like, you would think this is the fun of fantasy football, right? We just talked about how Evan was the loser of the week. He had the lowest score, and your team put up like 120 points or so. So you would think like you'd feel pretty good.
Yeah.
But because he gets Cooper Kupp, Stephon Diggs, and Dalvin Cook back, you probably don't feel as confident as you would have last week.
No, and I don't have my quarterback. Mahomes is behind me.
Right.
So right now I got Goff in there, but I'm hoping that I'm going to be able to get Tua, put in a claim. So hopefully I can get Tua in there.
Oh, man, Tua Waddle. That'd be a nice stat.
Tua Waddle, yeah, that would be pretty nice. St. Brown, hopefully he plays.
Got to figure out that tight end situation.
Yeah, it's just bad.
Kyle Pitts is probably not the answer to the problem here.
No, so I don't know what to do with the tight end spot. That's just it is what it is. Almost, I might just ride or die with him for the rest of the season and just see what happens. Michael Thomas would be an interesting one to see if I would maybe put him in. But who would I put him in over? Probably not anybody in the lineup right now.
No, you got 4 solid receivers.
always like playing Thursday night players, though. Thursday night can be hit and miss. I know last Thursday I got a hit with the Arizona defense, but
Yeah, you already got Evans in, so you're going to be playing at least one.
yeah, I got to ride with Evans until at least,
No, he was still good, and if he catches that touchdown, he would have had a huge day.
If Evan can just keep his lineup the way it is now, I think I got a good chance. I almost want to just take Evan because I'm pretty sure I'm not going to win this week. Like that's how bad my team is.
You're going to take against yourself?
I'll do it.
Oh, wow.
I'm betting against myself this week.
Oh, it's come to that.
It has come to
Prager did that once last year.
Oh, man, it is bad.
All right. Well, I'll stick with Evan here as well.
Oh, you should go on me.
If you don't have confidence in your team, I'm not sure I should.
It's just they're just not consistent. It's just not. I mean, great players, obviously.
You do. You have a lot of good players, man. Mixon, even Sanders, pretty good. But you really gotta get it. Once you get the quarterback in play, get the tight end sorted out. You got that Philly defense. That's gonna be nice. Good kicker, Carlson for Vegas.
Yeah.
All right. That's who we got going on, man. Some fun matchups, some big games. Now we got our last sip segment, which means it's time to wet the whistle and to have ourselves a lovely little drink here. Let's cue it up.
In black.
Have a drink
The
on
Raiders.
me. Oh, that's the worst black.
It was much nicer when we did it over computer, so you didn't have to touch my Raiders cup.
Like the virtual cheers. All right, my man, we got a fun one this week. We're gonna walk through the currently, according to our league standings, anyway. So we're doing a 4-point quarterback situation. So obviously, those who rush the ball are going to be higher. But we're gonna walk through the top 10 quarterbacks, top 10 tight ends, and then top 15 running backs and wide receivers on the year.
Sounds good.
So. And let's see here. I'll read you the names, and then you tell me sort of surprises or names you're like, wait a second, how come so-and-so's not there? So Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow, Lamar, Hurts, Kyler Murray, Geno Smith, Justin Herbert, Daniel Jones, Trevor Lawrence.
A few of those names, and one of them even you kind of when you were reading it out. Geno Smith. Yeah, Geno. I was shocked because you told me how many points he was kind of getting per week, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, good for him though." Like,
yeah,
dude's been just a fighter this whole time. Like, just where did he start? What was it? Was it Houston?
Jets.
Jets. That's right. Yes, he was drafted to the Jets, and just never has gotten a really good chance until now. So, people in Seattle are probably really loving themselves some Geno right now. So
I think so.
Also, Jones and Lawrence. Probably the three names on that list that's just
Daniel Jones especially, man. He's been running the ball a lot, which is really helping his fantasy value. He's not making nearly as many turnovers this year. That's usually what kill him. We count him for a fumble and a pick almost every game.
Yeah.
Leading the league in fumbles over the first however many years of his career.
I know it's only his second year, too, for Trevor Lawrence, so.
Yeah, he looks a lot better with
I'm
Doug
surprised,
Peterson.
but I'm not surprised kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
Like, that team looks better. They've had some tough losses.
So, I mean, I think some of the guys that jump out that aren't here would be Stafford, Brady, Rodgers.
Yeah.
Right. Those are some guys. Russ. Those are, a few that were pretty highly drafted. Dak, obviously, because of the injury.
Yeah.
So you kind of got to pass on him there. But
he'll get it back. He'll get it back going. So
yeah, he'll get it rolling. All right, let's go to tight ends. Kelsey, Andrews. That's really like.
That's it.
We knew that. And then it's just a mishmash. Taysom Hill, Zach Ertz, Hawkinson, Njoku, Goddard, Freiermuth, Hayden Hurst, Will Disley from the Seattle Seahawks.
Wow. None of those people I've had on my team this year. And yeah, I don't think I'll have any of them on my team because I think most of them are people aren't going to drop them. It's not been a great year for tight ends, right? Like,
no, it's Ertz, it's Kelsey, it's Goddard and Njoku most weeks. It's Andrews, it's Kelsey, Ertz, from time to time.
mhm.
Hawkinson had one big week, and Njoku and Goddard have been okay. Frymuth's been decent. Yeah.
Not
Everett isn't here, but he's missed a game and had a bye. Otherwise, he probably would be in this area.
Kyle Pitts is probably a name that's pretty surprising. I mean, I know that they don't have the greatest quarterback in Atlanta right now, but you're supposed to be one of the top tight ends in the league. Come on.
Not getting any volume, man.
Dropping passes, too. Like,
they're only throwing the ball like 15 times a game, which is just outrageous. Yeah, I mean, I think Pitts is probably the biggest name that stands out that isn't there. I don't really think there's too many others that are like, oh my goodness, I can't believe they're not there.
Higbee, I'm pretty surprised. That goes hand in hand with
he missed a game,
Stafford.
But yeah, and they have their bye week. But you're right, that's another good one.
Yeah, and my guy that I picked up first week, I thought this is going to be the guy to sign him to a new deal. Knox.
Dawson Knox. That's another one. Yeah.
You think with that offense?
Actually, Dalton Schultz from Dallas too. He's missed some time, but it's another one.
And Prescott's been out, so
yeah,
that connection hasn't been the same. But a few names there that's pretty surprising.
You're right. Now that we flush it out.
Yeah.
All right, wide receiver. This is interesting. So Diggs, Kupp, Tyreek Hill, Chase, Jefferson, Adams. I feel like those were the top 6, not in that order drafted, and they are currently the top 6. So pretty much chalk there, and it gets kind of interesting. Waddle, Hollywood, even though he didn't play last week. Mike Williams, Christian Kirk, Deebo Samuel, Amari Cooper, Tyler Boyd, who we talked about because of the spike weeks, Mike Evans, and CeeDee Lamb. So, Waddle, Lamb were kind of expected to do pretty well this year, so they were kind of in this group. But some big surprises there with some of the other. Ice Debo would have probably been expected as well. But Amari Cooper, Tyler Boyd, Hollywood, Mike Williams, Christian Kirk. Thoughts on some of those guys?
Christian Kirk's having a really good season.
He had such a good 3 weeks at the beginning of the year that even though he had 3 really bad weeks, and then he was good again last week, those 4 weeks have been good enough to jump him into the top 10.
Yeah. Not too surprising, though.
Amari Cooper's, I think, a big one that people maybe don't realize just how good he's been.
Yeah, I didn't think he was going to have a good season, only because there isn't really been a quarterback for him. But he's
Jacoby Brissett, man.
He's connecting well with him, so
he's getting the job done.
Yeah. So I'm not surprised by that, actually, for sure. But the other names, I'm not too surprised by, like you said, those top 6 names.
Yeah, for sure, those guys. Who else jumps? I'm trying to think of omissions that you would kind of expect to be here. Guys like Keenan Allen, I guess, would come to mind because of injury.
Buffalo wide receiver.
Gabe Davis.
Gabe Davis. I thought he was.
Yeah, he missed a game. He's been boom bust.
Yeah, hit 1 week.
They had a bye.
Thought he would have been on there. Vincent Jackson. It's gonna be a running joke.
Trying to run through the teams and just think. We kind of go through some of the big names.
Obviously, some of the names from like Sutton and Judy.
Yeah,
from Denver.
That's a good one.
Pretty shocking.
Yeah. The Jets guys, Garrett Wilson, Elijah Moore, were kind of intriguing names.
Yep.
Kadarius Toney, Drake London, the rookie,
Chase Claypool.
Yeah, the whole crew there. Deontay Johnson,
Johnson. Yeah. There's quite a few. Obviously, I didn't think any of the wide receivers in Green Bay were going to do anything. So
Metcalf and Lockett aren't on here.
Metcalf, Lockett.
That'd be another Thielen, right?
Yeah, it's surprising how good Geno's doing too.
Yeah,
you'd think one of those guys would be on there, but
that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's kind of the big ones that come to mind there. Anyway, there's some other guys, right, like Darnell Mooney when you get into it, Terry McLaurin, and
what's the name's not on there from Arizona too? Hopkins.
Oh, because of his 6-game suspension, right?
That's right. Yep.
All right. Running backs. This is kind of wild. So, I mean, Eckler, yes, he's kind of high drafted. CMC's in there at 4. So, okay, those are kind of regular. Derrick Henry's in there at 6. Okay. But outside of that, you start to look at it. Saquon Barkley, who people were kind of not sure about. Josh Jacobs, people were not sure about. Breece Hall, who was kind of in the running back dead zone that people were cautious about.
Mm-hmm.
Leonard Fournette, that people were like, Ramondre Stevenson, who's, supposed to be the backup. Aaron Jones, who people weren't sure about. Joe Mixon, he was a pretty high pick.
Yeah.
CEH, thanks to the first few weeks of his season. Dameon Pierce, the rookie who's come out. Miles Sanders, who didn't even know if he was going to be the starter. Jamal Williams, who's the backup for Detroit. And then Dalvin Cook coming in just at the end there.
Yeah.
So,
quite some names in there that are pretty surprising, like Pierce, Sanders, Stevenson. Hall was even
Jamal Williams.
Hall was a surprise. Too bad he's gone down, but
names that you didn't know, that you took some chances on. It's proving to be a good year for the late round running backs that you would have grabbed much later in the draft because of all the injuries we've had.
Been quite a few to the running back position.
Excuse me, Swift and Connor and JT and Fournette.
From Denver.
Yeah, Javonte.
There was also
Cook. Dalvin Cook's missed a game, so he's not as high.
Yeah.
But yeah, Jonathan Taylor obviously stands out as the biggest one because he was kind of the 102, 101 in most people's drafts, right?
Yeah.
That one hurts for sure. Actually, Nick Chubb, even though how come Chubb should be on there? I must have missed him.
Oh yeah, that'd be a surprise if he wasn't. That's for sure.
I think he got missed on that one.
Kareem Hunt still great 1-2 duel.
He's been better NFL than he has for fantasy this year.
Yes.
He hasn't had as good of a fantasy year,
but as an NFL team, you'll definitely 100% take the guy.
Yeah. All right. Any other standouts from kind of who's there, who's not there?
Surprised I'm not there.
Any other players that you're like, what a disappointing year they're having? Or what an amazing year they're having that we didn't see coming.
Try to think on the offensive side.
Yeah, if there's anyone else that jumps at, then I'm like, what a surprising situation.
The running back that's been filling in for San Fran, he's done a pretty good job.
Oh yeah, Jeff Wilson Jr.
Yeah, he did a really good job for a few weeks there. So
he was pretty good last week, even though he had limited touches with McCaffrey there. He's a good secondary back to, if you're grabbing insurance backs where you're grabbing a player that would be the next man up, he's a good one to target still.
I think Dalvin Cook's brother was expected to be a little bit more, but he's been a bit of a bust.
Yeah. He was an exciting one.
Saquon's been probably.
He's been him and Jacobs, man.
Yeah, it looks like this was the first year I dropped Zeke.
About it, but I'm
actually.
I know he had a good week for me last week because he got 2 touchdowns.
Right, but the consistency's not there. I mean, it's a tough sport, right? These guys get a little bit older, and all of a sudden,
Tony Pollard's just super talented.
Yeah, he is. So glad he's on my team.
Yeah, that's probably gonna work out for you well this week. All right, it's your game of the week this week. Who you most excited to gear up and watch?
Well, I'm geared up to obviously watch the Raiders.
Well, okay,
but
sure.
I mean, the Raiders and Saints,
it's all right.
It's not a huge fight everybody over, kind of thing. But I am interested in the Patriots and Jets. I think that could be the game of the week. And maybe it's just because I grew up in that AFC East area where those rivalries were always kind of talked about and put on TV. So you kind of it's kind of back to like the Jets and Patriots rival. So I'm excited to watch that one. That's my game.
All right, I'll take the 49ers Rams. I'm intrigued to see, are the Rams any good coming off the bye? Did they figure anything out? They got Van Jefferson, their wide receiver, who's back healthy. You have to imagine some of their players that were kind of banged up, like Higbee was, feeling 100% healthy now. I still think they're garbage compared to the 49ers. And it'll also be fun to watch Christian McCaffrey in his first full workload.
That's true.
Get out on the field. So
Yeah.
I'm excited for that one. I think that'll be a fun one.
That's going to be a good one. I like that one.
The only other one that tempted me was the Bengals and Browns, just to see.
That's another
to watch the Bengals go ham again in the passing game.
That's another great rival right there. Right?
Divisional matchups this week.
Cincy,
There's some good ones.
Yeah. The Bills game I'm looking forward to as well.
Yeah, I think they're going to massacre the Packers, but it'll be fun to watch.
Yes. Yeah. There's a couple of not like games of the week, but just interesting things to watch.
Right.
Tom Brady, what's going to happen?
Yeah.
In Tampa Bay
on the spotlight on Thursday, right?
Yeah.
Tomorrow night.
That's interesting.
Yeah. He looks DUN.
DUN.
But we'll see. It's too early to tell. All right. Anything else to throw out there other than welcome to the island?
Thank you for having me, and it's going to be one heck of a week. I'm going to enjoy it. Get you watching some college ball too.
There it is. GibsonFantasyFootball.com, Gibson_FF on Twitter, Gibson Fantasy Football, all one word, on Instagram, YouTube, Podbean, and Spotify. All right. Well, as always, you can find us anywhere there. Feel free to comment, like, subscribe, come interact with us. Until next time, clear eyes, full heart, can't lose.
Love you all.